In Python, sometimes the best code, well, it isn't just powerful, it's actually beautiful. And today, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to take a clunky four-line loop and transform it into one single, elegant line of code. You ready? Let's dive in. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been coding, you write a few lines and you step back and think, oh, there has got to be a cleaner way to do this. Well, what if I told you we could take 4 lines of Python code and shrink them down to just one? Yep, it's possible, and that's exactly what we're going to master. All right, so first things first, let's look at the problem. And really, it's not a problem so much as the way we all start. This should look super familiar to pretty much anyone who's touched Python. It's the classic for loop. And look, it gets the job done, for sure. But let's be real. It's a little clunky, isn't it? So think about what's happening here. It's kind of like you're setting up a little assembly line. First, you grab an empty box. That's your squares list. Then, you start the conveyor belt. That's the for loop. And for every single item that comes down the line, you do something to it, you square it, and then you physically put it in the box with dot append. It makes perfect sense, but it's 4 distinct steps just to get one list. Okay, so that's the old way. Now, for the solution, it's time to meet the hero of our story today, the list comprehension. This is what we call the Pythonic way, and it's all about squishing that logic down into one single, super powerful, and really readable line. And there it is, boom! Just look at that comparison. On the left, you've got our 4-line setup, and on the right, one single line that does the exact same thing. All that setup, all that logic, just collapsed into one beautiful, clean statement. That is the power we're talking about. Okay, I know, at first glance, it might look like some kind of weird magic, but I promise you, it's not. It's actually super logical. So let's deconstruct this thing. We'll take it piece by piece, and you're gonna see it's actually made of the same parts you already know. So how do you even read this thing? The best way is to think of it like an English sentence. You start with what you want to get. That's the expression, x squared. Then you say where you're getting it from. That's your loop, 4x in range 5. And finally, the square brackets wrapping the whole thing, that's just you telling Python, hey, put all these results into a brand new list for me. See? It's the exact same ingredients as the old loop, just rearranged to be way more elegant. Okay, that's cool, but what if you don't want every single item? What if you need to filter things out? Well, guess what? List comprehensions have you covered there too. We can totally power up this one-liner by tossing in a condition. So here's our new mission. We're going to loop through a bunch of numbers, but this time we only want to hang on to the even ones. Let's put our old school loop and our new one-liner head-to-head and see how they stack up. And this is where it gets really cool. Look at the old way. You have to add a whole new indented block just for that if statement. It gets clunky again. But the comprehension, you literally just tack the if condition right onto the end. It reads just like a sentence. Give me x for every x if x is even. It's so clean, so intuitive, and it all stays on that one magical line. All right, so we've established they're shorter, which is great. But why is everyone in the Python world so obsessed with them? Why is this the Pythonic way? Let's dig into what that actually means and why it matters to you. It really comes down to 3 big things. First, it's shorter. Less code to write means less code to read and less places for bugs to hide. It's just cleaner. Second, it's actually faster. Believe it or not, Python is optimized under the hood to run these comprehensions more efficiently than a standard for loop with a bunch of dot append calls. And third, and this is the big one, it's Pythonic. That's a fancy word that just means it fits the philosophy of the language, writing code that clearly expresses your intent. You're not telling the computer how to build a list step by step. You're just describing the list you want. So at the end of the day, you've got something that's shorter, faster, and more Pythonic. I mean, what's not to love? It's like the perfect trifecta of good coding. And learning this isn't just some clever trick. It's a real step up in writing clean, professional-level Python. So, next time you're coding and you find yourself typing out my_list equals empty square brackets and then a for loop, just pause. Take a second. Remember, you've got this awesome, elegant tool in your back pocket now. It's a total game changer. So my question for you is, where are you going to use your first one-liner?